There's no Eli that could come back in mid-season. There's none of that anymore. I believe we have, who is it? Colt McCoy, who is our backup. I hope
he's nobody. Who cares about him? Sorry,
So
Giants fans. I don't think he's good. He's trash.
Sad. Hey, Shakira Brown here with my son, Jaeme Brown, and we are the mother and son that talks Giants football. This is called Family Bonding, the G-Men post-game show hosted by a mother and son. And we are very excited about this first game of the 2020-21 season, right, Jaeme?
Correct, yes. It's been a long time waiting. The build-up was good, a little hectic, kind of nervous actually, but, we're here.
We're here. One of the ththings that bothers me in every Giants game at some point in the game is then these missed opportunities, and that happened in that first quarter where there was a fumble. The Steelers fumbled the ball. The Giants recovered it. They just had possession. They just gave up possession, and they were right there, right at the end zone. Could have brought it right in, and they totally squandered it. And it's upsetting. And these are the things I think set the tone. When something like that happens, it sets the tone. And that was the first quarter. And, from there, there was some golden moments, but after that, not so much. Highlights from the first half, I would say, for me, seeing Daniel Jones go down and hold on to that ball for like it was like, he was holding a baby that was falling. It was great.
After getting rocked, too, no less, he got rocked.
He got rocked, and I'm so glad that he's handling that better. I do think there's some ill matchups tonight, which is hurting, especially our defense. Right as we closed the half, I felt like three guys couldn't take the one guy down. Juju, none of our Giants could take this guy down, and he went in for the touchdown. I was a little disappointed at that, but it really wasn't. I just think that they were just the wrong people there or something. I don't know.
To add on to that, because I analyzed it very quickly. They have Jabril Peppers on Ebron, the big tight end, because
the 6'4" guy.
Yes, and the problem with that is that Ebron, he's big and he's quick, and the middle of the field. I don't know if you noticed, the middle of the field has been open the whole half, and no one is doing anything about it except Jabril Peppers. I don't know. There seems to be a communication issue too, because when Juju Smith-Schuster, they crossed routes, the DBs had no idea what was going on. They both ended up following the person running the out route. But Schuster ran on the inside, so he was able to get open free for a touchdown. So there's the communication. I know that they're all young guys, and I know some of them are just new to the team. Like, I know we signed some people last minute, but the communication, they got to adjust quickly, because now it's becoming, we're just passing. We can't run. Saquon is being locked down, and I was horrified.
He got a couple of cute little runs in there, but it wasn't enough to
he's getting locked down, because the problem is they're running through the A and B gaps, and they are pinching those gaps. The defense is literally pinching those gaps. Like, I wish I could show replays legally, but if I had a play to show you, there would be a play where the line is literally collapsing on the A gaps, forcing Saquon to either bounce out, which, spoiler alert, there really is no space outside, or he just has to take the yardage loss, and that's what's been happening. Even on the screenplays, they are containing him. They don't want him to have any sort of action, because if he does, that opens up the pass game, which the pass game was doing great until they, all they knew that we had to do was stop the pass game. So,
and then let's talk about Big Ben getting like an 11-yard run. I don't think he's run that much in 5 years. I think he called the timeout because he was winded and he needed to get himself together.
When he grabbed his knee, I thought, oh, shit, because he grabbed his knee.
But
and
something I think is wrong when Big Ben can get yardage running. I mean, there's something that hopefully they do some justice. We're recording part of this right before the half because we want it to be fresh for you. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this every episode, but we wanted to do it for the first episode. So,
right.
We're doing this with anticipation for hopefully a better half, which I think will make a better episode for this show. Actually,
yes,
we can actually show a different commentary. But at least we're back, and I think there's a difference with Jason Garrett at the helm with offensively. There's something there, I think. There's something.
I need to add something. There were some really shady calls. There was one, I don't remember the guy's name on the Steelers, but number 11, he pushed off on our DB. It was very obvious. He pushed off, jumped up for the catch, and kept his feet in bounds. But if you notice on the replay, they only showed the part where he kept his feet in bounds because he clearly pushed off of our DB and got the catch. No call. Evan Ingram does the one arm. They called
He did the one arm, and yes,
but
unfortunately
his was
flagged.
definitely not as obvious because he didn't really extend off. It looked like he was using his momentum to turn, and I guess that's just what happened. And I'm a little biased, but if you go back and watch number 11 in the first quarter, I think it was the third or second drive, he pushes off our DB to get that catch, and that was the biggest play of that drive. They get that call taken away, or they get that reversed. I don't think they even get those 3 points to even help them get the motivation to score. I think there was a lot of calls that were shady.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I remember last season there was some pass interference, sketchy non-calls. I mean, practically
egregious.
The players were strangling Giants.
Yes, egregious. It was just egregious. And they just let it go. I think they just don't like the Giants. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. And also, there was a tackle where Daniel Jones got hit and the guy led with his helmet. That should have been illegal. He went like this and like hugged him and led with his helmet. And they showed it. They said, this is what it looks like when you're playing professional football. And they showed him get wrecked. And I'm like, wait a minute. If that was Tom Brady, they would have said that was leading with the crowd.
Absolutely.
And they wouldn't have laughed at them, made him a joke of it.
That's negative. It's Tom Brady.
I swear, if that was Tom Brady, they would have said it was illegal contact. And they had the nerve to make a joke out of it. They said, this is what it looks like to be in the NFL. And then they just showed poor Danny Dimes getting rocked with what I thought was an illegal tackle. And again, obviously I'm biased because I'm a Giants fan, but I had some friends watching with me that said clearly that was a legal hit. And they just didn't call it. So
yeah, well, we can only hope that the calls will be more balanced.
Yes.
In the latter half of the game, but I don't know. I still feel like it's the normal follies of the Giants. With some bright shines. I mean, Jabril Peppers coming back off of his injury. I think he's looking good, although terribly matched up tonight.
Yes.
But I think he's looking good. Playing his first regular season game in quite a bit. So I'm glad that he's back. And I did have a moment of just thinking about what is Eli doing right now. I had that moment. I did. I had that moment.
I'm sure he's watching the game.
Maybe. I don't think he's employed doing any commentary yet. I don't know if that's his gig anyway. I don't know if he's going to do that.
He might be living off of his brother's money.
He's got his own money.
I'm sorry, Eli. If you somehow see this, I'm sorry.
He's got his own money. But I always have high hopes for New York Giants season. So we can only hope that things will get better and that we'll see some bright, shining stars pop up some of these draft picks, although a couple of them I think are one of them is on, I think McKinney, is he on IR?
I believe so, yes.
So it's a little disturbing that happened, but hopefully something will happen with some of these guys.
I like this Martinez guy.
Yeah, he looked good.
I mean, I kind of knew that he was going to do that because he, if you heard about his resume, he was number 2 in tackles the past 2 seasons. So, I mean, if you're number 2 in tackles, you're doing something right. And he could fly. He flies all the way around in the middle of the field in the box when it comes to those rushing plays. That's why the rushing game for the Steelers isn't really what their motive is right now. They're trying to just pass because the run game's not working for either team. It's just slightly better for the Steelers. Slightly.
Yeah.
But that James Conner guy, he's got like less than 10 yards. So they're doing something right on defense.
Speaking of less than yards, like you said, Saquon, his yardage is nothing to write home about tonight. I'm hoping that the adjustments during the half could allow him to break free and do more. It was exciting. The few runs that he had, it was exciting.
Yeah.
But it's not half as what we know, half as much of what we think know he's capable of. So.
Got to give him different looks. I think they got to.
We can't have Big Ben getting more yards.
No.
Saquon.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look. But what
No.
they need to do is they got to give him different looks. They can't keep giving him inside runs. The inside run is not working. If they can try to find some way to get him a run on the outside, because he's quick, they gotta give him different looks. They can't keep giving them the same stuff. So
Yeah. So
hopefully they make the adjustment. We'll see what happens, especially on defense.
we're hoping for a much better second half, and we'll have our wrap up of the second half and the game up next. So Jaeme, let's talk about that second half. That second half of the game, we had high hopes coming out of the locker room in hopes that there was some sort of reset to get these guys back doing something that resembled a team that could win. Unfortunately, there wasn't. There was a couple of glimmers of hope. It looks like Slayton is really going to have to is stepping up, going to step up this season. Hopefully, he can continue to do that. Tate is out with hamstring at this time. Shepard, who I forgot was on the team until the second half, he came. Either he wasn't playing. I don't remember. He was out in the first half. Maybe he was. There was a lot.
I was
going to
say something about that. You didn't mention Shepard. I was like, she's not even mentioning the person that's supposed to be the number one receiver. People forget he's supposed to be the number one receiver, but Darius Slayton is stepping up so much that people are forgetting. I almost forgot that.
When they said at one point, I was like, "Well, where's Shepard?" Then I forgot about it. Then he was on the field, and I was like, "Oh, there he is." But Slayton really, is earning his spot for sure, and he was the one who really came in with those touchdowns. Of course, not enough to get a win, but I appreciate Darius Slayton for earning his check.
Well, here's the issue with that. We can't punish him. We can say he did a good job, but we can't punish him because if you look at Saquon's stats, that I have them up, I'm looking at Saquon's rushing stats. Brace yourself. 15 carries, 6 yards. That's 0.4 average. 0.4. That's less than 1 yard per carry.
That's not for the whole game. Those are not GOAT numbers. If he wants to,
not even top running back numbers.
Do whatever Barry Sanders did through his career.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this guy doesn't have to leave the Giants to achieve his goals. I have high hopes for the guy. I often respond to when he posts things on Instagram. I often say encouraging things like, "Go ahead, nephew. He's not my nephew." But sometimes I just go ahead and say that because I just want him to be happy and stay on the Giants.
Right.
But it's rough. I mean, the guy is an amazing talent, but he was shut down in this Steelers game tonight.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned he's such a great talent, but teams are recognizing that. They're acknowledging that the Giants are rebuilding, and he is supposed to be our number one offensive producer. So the whole game I was watching, the Steelers didn't change anything about what they did in the first half. They kept having 8 guys in the box, and they were saying, give Saquon the ball. Go ahead. We'll stop him. And guys like T.J. Watt and that Joe Hayden guy, they were making differences. Joe Hayden specifically in coverage and T.J. Watt on the line for the Steelers. And they were just shutting Saquon down. Now, the line, we have to also remember, our team is young. Everybody's young. Nope. Yeah, I don't think there's really that many veterans on offense. Tate is one of them, but not playing. So we can't forget that they're all young guys. And when you're young, and especially with this pandemic, this whole pandemic bullcrap is causing a lot of issues because they don't get the regular training hours they're supposed to get.
No,
they certainly don't get the attention they're supposed to be getting. They don't have the constant repetitions of actually being in the facility all the time and have access to be able to do all these things and run plays and everything on a consistent basis. It's very different. So young guys with a pandemic where you can't practice as much, not very good, especially if you're coming straight out of college into the league. It's like you don't get to practice and get used to the speed and the force and how much it is to play and how much it is on your body when you're playing at that level. So
there's a lot of names on the Giants that I was not familiar with tonight.
Yeah.
And they're not getting the reps that they normally get, I guess. And
Nope.
it showed. It was a struggle. NFC is not didn't have a good showing so far over the last 2 days.
Except for
Washington. Yeah, that's about it.
That's bad if they're doing good and everyone else is doing. That's bad.
NFC East, Washington represented, but unfortunately, there's just not a good situation otherwise. But in this second half of the Steelers-Giants game, I really thought that there was going to be some changes with Jones. I think Jones got a little nerve-wracked. The Steelers, they've got some big guys on there.
No, that's a top defense. The Steelers, they have a top defense. I'm not sure what their rank is, but
there is. I think he was a little like psychologically a little messed up. He made some bad mistakes. He threw instead of him throwing it out of bounds, the ball out of bounds, or anything's better than throwing it and then a Steeler picking it up and taking it and turning over. So that he made some bad choices. He did show his legs tonight. Glad he was running. Got some yardage.
He only did that in the second half, though. If you notice, he didn't do it as much in the first half when he probably could have and should have. But I think he's starting to just slowly realize that he has to be the leader now. There's no more Eli.
He's got to be the leader. He can't. There's no Eli that could come back in mid-season. There's none of that anymore. I believe we have, who is it, Colt McCoy, who is our backup. I hope
he's nobody. Who cares about him? Sorry, Giants fans. I don't think he's good. He's trash. Sad.
So basically, we've got Jones, and so he's got to.
Which is why he made those mistakes. He's trying to be a hero. He's trying to. I don't know if you paid attention. The announcers are talking about it. It's like it's tough. You want to be the hero, and I'm sure he wants to do that. And you could see it in his eyes when he didn't look like, how Eli looked kind of just like aloof. He looked angry. He looked angry. Like he was very angry.
There was a demeanor change. There's a difference.
He looked pissed, but you saw he was like hungry for a win. He just wants to win. I admire that about him. He's a guy who has a lot to carry. He has a very big chip on his shoulder, and he still has a lot to prove to the Giants and the NFL. Not just the Giants, but more so.
I saw a little also. If you look at the sidelines, I saw a little fire in Joe Judge talking to the refs. I like that. He was having the refs are horrible. It looked like a spirited conversation, which I appreciate that.
The Giants weren't getting any calls. There was a lot of no calls and a lot of shady calls that worked in favor of the Steelers. I'm just saying. I'm not even being biased. A lot of the no calls, especially in the first half with the pass interference that wasn't called, I will hold that until the end of the season. I don't care. It was a pass interference.
We're very petty. We hold all this stuff to the end of the season.
I know for a fact that was pass interference, and no one can change our mind.
What about the 2-point conversion play? Did you feel that was a pass interference, or do you think that was all good? That the Steelers player just jumped up in front of our player, and it was all good, it was all fine, and then we just missed the 2-point conversion? Was that clean?
It was certainly cleaner than the pass interference in the first quarter. Yeah. I'll say that.
It's unfortunate. You know what? It didn't even matter at that point, that too, because they weren't going to come back from there anyway.
Not enough.
But it was good practice. They need to practice that.
There was no preseason. We forgot about that. There was no preseason.
No preseason. So it was good practice to do that because it didn't matter. So it's a good call to go ahead and have gone that, even though it didn't work out.
To be honest, too, I don't think a lot of people thought that the Giants were going to win anyway. I'm sure a lot of people were like, they're just going to lose by like 30 or whatever. Yeah. But we did what we could. We did what we could.
I think so. I hope for the best. We hope guys stay healthy and come back. Ingram, he was also, he's always banged up.
Unfortunately, they're riddled with injuries, and that guy could be a monster. If he could stay healthy, he'll be a monster.
Yeah.
So, and I think he just started getting used to getting hit again. So a lot of these guys, for them, this was preseason game for them.
You're right. If you look at me, you got Peppers. He's coming back off an injury. Ingram, was he hurt at the end of last season? I can't remember.
Oh, he was hurt for a while, like majority of the season. Him, Saquon. Saquon came back, but
he came back.
Ingram was gone for like the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right. So these things. You're right. It was like a preseason game. Unfortunately, this one counted.
How about our boy Dexter Lawrence though with that sack?
I like the way
I like the pressure in general. The quarterback rush pressure tonight. That was very good. That's very good things. I like that they are aggressive and they're getting after the quarterback. Even if they don't get the sack, they're forcing it. And that's on a mobile QB. So if there was a mobile quarterback, I'm sure I'm gonna be honest. The guy
Ben Roethlisberger tonight.
He got his 11 yards.
He had a few. He had a little.
One leg. His other one, he was grabbing. He had to make sure the leg didn't fall out of the socket or something. It looked like he had to keep it in place.
The old man. I'm sticking by my thought that he he called the timeout because he was winded. It needed time to get his bearings.
He balled out though. I think he had over 250 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. So he did his thing tonight.
Yeah.
Against again a young defense. I think that secondary needs work. I'm gonna be honest. They need work. They don't communicate that well. It looked like people were confused. Again, I get it. It's the first game. There was no preseason. So they were just learning to probably communicate with each other. But I'm telling you, some players look lost. I saw a lot of this. I didn't like it. It wasn't.
You called that last season. You saw that too, and you called it. And then, of course, I don't remember who it was. That one player came out and said he didn't know the plays. It was like halfway through the season.
What's his
and he
name?
said he didn't know the plays. He actually admitted it in an interview.
The guy with the freaking gun charges. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it was Baker?
Yeah, Baker.
DeAndre Baker. Oh, that's Baker. Unfortunate. Well, he's probably done.
Good riddance.
He's probably done.
He sucks.
Yeah, he actually should be done already, but I don't think they released him yet because he hasn't been convicted or anything. So
no, but they did. They got rid of that. He's no longer.
Is he released? Yeah, because I was looking at the new report. There was because I know he was going up on charges or something. That's he's a dummy, unfortunately.
Yes.
I don't want him to go to jail, but whatever happened over the summer, I don't want him
on the team
was
either.
Stupid.
Yes,
was stupid. Oh, but yeah, he was the one who didn't know the play last season.
And he admitted it like week 10.
He was halfway through the season. He was like, "Oh, guess what? I don't know the plays yet."
Yeah.
So we might have a little of that with these young boys. Hopefully.
Well, it's also a new system. The new coaching system, new terms, everything's changed. They don't use the same stuff. So it's probably just rules they weren't ready to adjust for. And again, first time. So we'll have to see, maybe be a little more harsh on the critiquing in game 2 or 3. But for right now, I'm going to give our team the benefit of the doubt and just conclude that they're all young guys. And this is pretty much a preseason game, even though it counts.
Even though
it counts. A preseason game. I don't care.
Yeah, you're right. All right. I think that's a nice way to sum up this Steelers-Giants game.
We can't expect more than what happened. We can't. If I said to you that I expect Daniel Jones to get 4 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rushing touchdown, I'm lying. Like, I expected at least what happened, but I wanted to see more from Saquon. That's what I had my expectations.
He's our showboat. He's the guy.
Saquon.
I'm gonna steal a funny line from Deion Sanders last season when he was talking about when Saquon was doing all those crazy runs and leaping up in the air, and he referred to one of them as a stanky leg. He was like, he did that little stanky leg, and he got a little stanky leg in there today.
He did.
But not enough to make a difference. But
right,
there was a couple plays where he almost was acting as a wide receiver. And he was able to get a first down for us. That was an interesting play.
But he had to do that because no run game.
Exactly.
Nothing in the A gaps and B gaps. It was driving me crazy. It didn't seem like the line could handle them up front. I think the guys needed to get used to that power and just, the response. There's resistance. Bags don't hit back. Bags don't break or like stop you in your tracks.
Right. So we definitely need more trickery around the Saquon plays because the jig is up. The other teams know he's a weapon.
They know he's the top running back. You can't deny he's not a top running back.
Yeah.
They want to keep him from being the top running back. So you put 8 in the box. They're giving him the Adrian Peterson treatment. That's what they do to Adrian Peterson. When he was in his prime. You had to have at least 8 guys in the box. You have to. Otherwise, you're giving him free 5 to 10 yards every time because it's too much space. You overload the box, you see pressure, and then it forces us to do different types of routes of offense, like for offensive plays, screens, in terms of like passing plays, rather. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, but we were just a little discombobulated tonight in the beginning.
Just a wee bit. So we can only hope for the best, and there'll be a better showing in the next few games. We'll get a better chance to see some more of Jason Garrett's offensive strategy. And hopefully with precision execution. Yes.
Joe Judge had a fire in his eyes tonight, so I think he
I'm telling you, when I saw him having a what I'm going to again call a spirited conversation with the officials, I was excited by that.
Because Pat Shermer didn't do that.
Very serious. I was excited I don't know what they were talking about. I know he was complaining about
probably rules. Calls.
Yeah.
Definitely no calls. There were no calls that were very shady.
But it was nice to see. We really haven't seen that. Really, Tom Coughlin used to do it.
Oh, Tom Coughlin didn't take shit. Oh,
yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know if you want cursing in there or not, but He didn't take nothing from anybody.
Yeah.
He would let you know if he thought it was bullshit. I would see him say, "That's bullshit." He cursed all the time at the refs, all the time.
Very spirited on the sidelines.
Yes.
Haven't seen that really in a while.
Pat Shermer was very
nice
soft.
Guy. There's a couple times he might have got a little, but not anything that was serious. Tonight
definitely didn't motivate the team enough. I don't think so.
Nice man. I'm glad he's working somewhere else. But
speaking of motivation, how about the Giants playing to the very end?
Yeah,
giving it their all. Something I haven't seen in years. It always
is true.
When I would watch the last few minutes and they were losing, it was miserable. I'd be like, I want to turn this off because you just got Eli like this. and the team is just
used to have that hanging lip.
And the team is just walking around like, just ready for the game to be over. But not tonight. You saw a lot of, come on, let's go. You heard Saquon. I could hear Saquon yelling, come on, let's go, tempo. Like, I heard all of that. So
I do think, again, the lack of actual gameplay up until now. Think about it. Their last game was at the end of December. So, so there was that too of just wanting to be back out there on the field and doing what they do best. So there was a lot of that. And I hope they keep that type of attitude and mindset throughout the regular season. I think it's going to be another tough season. It's unfortunate that the Giants couldn't figure it out in the second half to close this thing out with a win. Unfortunately, the Steelers took it 26-16. And, we just have to keep hoping for the best. And I always want them to get into the playoffs. I can't predict that they will. I'm not even going to try. But
I'd say it's safe to not do that because we don't want to look back and say, oh boy.
No, I'm good with just watching, game by game, play game by game only, and that's it. That's all.
We can get into the playoff analysis when we get to that point, which will probably be around week 10, week 12.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll have to see what happens.
We'll be watching.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So, thanks for joining us on our first G-Men post game with the mother and son, Shakira Brown and Jaeme Brown. We are happy to give you a little peek inside our customary. It's very customary these days over the last few years, I should say, doing a little post game between us, and we're sharing it with you. I'm a lifelong fan. I raised a Giants fan. So
go Big Blue.
So we try to go to a game or two every season. Unfortunately, COVID is keeping us off.
Thank coronavirus
at home. And watching, but at least football is back.
Yes.
So thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment with your insights on the September 14, 2020 game between the New York Giants and the Steelers. And also, please subscribe so you can, be notified of our next video. Hit the little bell for the notification. And, please like this video and share it. We need you to share it. Share it with other people. Right? We'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody.